November 18th, 2013, and time to get this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of San Felipe Del Rio CISD started. Mr. Overfeld, we have a quorum, correct?
Yes, sir, we do.
Let the record show that a quorum of the board members are present, that this meeting's been duly called, and that notice of this meeting's been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, if you'd stand for opening ceremonies. First, a moment of silence to reflect in your own way. And now the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Now that this meeting is called to order, that officially brings us to item 4 on the agenda. It's your recognitions, the first being Stay Fit for My Kids 5K Run, Laura English presenting.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, Mr. Gary Bedian, board members. In order to promote health awareness among the district employees, San Felipe Del Rio CISD developed the Stay Fit for My Kids program. This initiative is an effort to lower the cost of healthcare premiums, to serve as role models for the community, and to ensure a better quality of life for all staff members. On Saturday, November 16th, we held a Be Someone Hero and Be Fit 5K fun run at the Del Rio Middle School athletic fields. We had 266 people that registered for the run, and we had, at that moment, about 240 participants. All these runners were parents, staff members, and students. And most importantly, I would like to thank all the volunteers that helped and to make that event a success. And I'll be quick, but I do want to mention all the names if I could. First of all, Coach Rick Smith, Coach Hurley, Ms. Ida Gomez for letting us use her campus, Brett Dixon, Jesse Limon, Oriana Fernandez, Vicky Jimenez, Nidia Contreras, Coach Melanie Gee, Frenchie McCrae, Christopher Wren, Mr. Johnny Sheedy, Yanekani Valdez, Julie Cox, Laura Douglas, Yvonne Rodriguez, Heather Casillas, Rosario de Leon, Jesse Barrera, Angie Sanchez, the maintenance and the district police department, Mr. Oscar San Miguel, Ms. Denise Barron, and Willie Broadway. Without them, this event would not have been possible. I also want to thank the City of Del Rio for waiving the fees, for the barricades and, to keep everybody safe. But mainly, I want to thank all the staff, the parents, and the students who participated in the event. We held a competition among all the campuses to see who had the most participation. And of the 266 registrants, over 101 were from Buena Vista Elementary. So, of course, they are our winners tonight. So I would like to present them with this trophy, and they will be displaying this at their campus all year. And this is going to be a traveling trophy, so we're encouraging other campuses to do the same and encourage their staff and be a role model for the community as well. So I could have Buena Vista representatives come up front. Dr. Rios and Mr. Gary Bedian, if you want to come up and present it to them.
Gary Bedian, on behalf of the school district, we would like to recognize Buena Vista Elementary for their leadership in this endeavor to keep everyone fit, and take this opportunity to congratulate the leadership for the culture that's there. Certainly, we can't have any
Brings us to agenda item 6, board members' report. Today being CT visit and tour by Representative Poncho Narvaez. Mr. Overfeld is presenting.
If I could have Mr. Gonzalez perhaps cue up the PowerPoint there for me real quick. I don't have a clicker with me, so if you just want to, or I don't know if it'll work from all the way up here, but last Wednesday, Mr. Garibay and Dr. Rios and fellow board members and others in attendance, we had our state representative for the from the Texas House, District 74, Poncho Narvaez, here to view our CTE program there, and Mr. Gonzalez was nice enough to facilitate that kind of what we called a VIP tour there, and Mr. Narvaez went to different programs that we have there, and we started the morning off there in the pharmaceutical area back in what has kind of become now really the medical wing. I call it the medical wing of the high school now. There we have pharmacy tech and EMT and CNA there. And one of the first classrooms we got to go to was with Ms. Jana Koch, who runs our pharmacy tech program. And our state rep there, you'll see in the picture he's wearing sunglasses the whole time there, and that was because he was getting ready to have some eye work done, so he was a little dilated there, so just want everyone to know that there. He got to talk with our students in pharmacy tech there about everything that they are doing, and was very impressed with all of that there. They told him about the different things that they're learning, everything from compounding up through general law that pharmacy techs have to go in and participate in and know as well. Down the hall, we went to the EMT-B program, which is run by Miss Mary Jo Hartman there, and she had several of her students ready to give explanations to our state rep on everything that they do in there. You walk into this room, if you haven't been, it's like walking through the doors of the ER at the hospital. So cool, scary, whatever you want to go with it there. But they've done a really, really good job of decorating and making it feel, they have made the place theirs. They have a very big lab. You go over to the next one, and they have all of the, pretty much the latest life-size dummies, they're mannequins, I guess is the correct term, for everything that they're going to go in and learn about to be an EMT. These kids eventually will get to do ride-alongs with our EMT program that Val Verde Regional Medical Center has there, so that they will be required to eventually do ride-alongs in an active ambulance unit. And one time I actually saw them have one of our kids last year get out during an automobile accident they responded to. So they do get real world experience there. The program down there was nice enough to have a little welcome out for us. We moved on down to the CNA program, and CNA are, and I misspelled it, sorry. The CNA program, that's why I teach history and not English. The CNA program, Certified Nursing Assistants there, under the direction of Ms. Laura Guerrero. They had stuff running up when we walked in, and we're doing CPR there, both manually as well as using the AEDs there to show what that is like. And in the next room where their other lab was, they were going in and showing all the different things that a CNA has to pass on, from taking care of the patients while they're in the bed, reading vitals, etc. Stuff. They're doing a really, really good job. They have to pass the test at the end of the year. For the last, how many years now?
At least 4 or 5.
At least 4 or 5. It has been a 100% completion rate, 100% pass. Everyone passes it first time out, so very good for them. From there, we went to Media Tech, which back when I was in high school was KAB, and the other now it has evolved dramatically to where the students now were producing videos, short videos, and broadcasts that run there at the high school, as well as animations. And this young woman here, one of our students, had produced a short animated film like you would see in any Pixar program there. And in fact, in the next slide, we'll see our state rep visiting there on the right with one of our students who we sent. I think there were about 11 students that got to go to Austin, to the Austin Film Festival here a couple weeks ago, and got to meet with some of the high-level executives from Pixar and Disney and other movie studios there. So our state rep is getting our student there to pitch him in 1 minute or less a movie idea, which was kind of interesting there. Ms. Joyce Flores runs the media program for us. From there, we went to probably the tastiest part of the trip there, into the Culinary Arts program run by Ms. Terry Salinas. And she had not only the students baking some very yummy cupcakes there, but also this special oatmeal that was really awesome, as well as some hot chocolate that, if you ever get to go over to Culinary Arts when they're doing this, go by and visit them. It's amazing. From Culinary Arts, we stepped into another area there that dealt with looking at careers in the future. Our CTE counselor, Ms. Christy Barrera, giving him an explanation there. We went on into welding. He was very impressed by the welding program that we have at Del Rio High School there, especially the barbecue pits. And his little son, Panchito, there was also really impressed by that. Too, he got to talk with some of our welding students there. And one of the interesting things when we were there, you've got everybody welding and they've got their masks down. And he went over to talk to some of our welders, and they pulled up their masks, and what we call non-traditional students. We have several female students in the program there that are actually at the top of their class in the welding program. And so he was very impressed with that there. From welding, we eventually moved on over to Project Lead the Way, and that goes in and deals with all your engineering class with Mr. Davis, and over into Mr. Billadou's classroom as well. He's there talking to Mr. Davis about some Rube Goldberg traps that they were, or traps, but projects that they were doing. Mr. Garza, Dr. Garza there fist bumping one of our students. They're keeping up relations. And then, and the other, he got to go in, our state rep got to go in and talk with some of our students. Ms. Lozano, you might recognize that young man right there. And they were showing us some of the CNC drilling or milling, CNC milling, right, Mr. Builder? What it was there. And then our student going in, Mr. Lozano, they're talking about some of the projects he's done with the program. And the last thing we looked at while we were at the high school was, of course, our robotics team, which you know that last year went to the World Championship in only its second year of existence there. So amazing things coming out of that. He looked at some of our machines, was explaining what they do there. Very, very impressed. And if you saw the paper on Thursday the next day, he went in and talked about what he saw. And the last thing we have there is that quote from the paper. I was really blown away. Seeing that amount of enthusiasm and inspiration from students by learning real-world skills was the most impressive part of the morning. Going back home with a real sense of pride from what I saw today, watching these kids and seeing what they're able to accomplish made me really glad to know that students are really benefiting from this. And that comes from the November 14th edition of the News Herald. And so overall, he was very, very impressed. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for putting that together there and letting us showcase our great CTE programs that we have. And that's my report, sir.
Thank you. Great job. Outstanding. Nice report about the Representative Nevadas' visit, I guess, tour. Very good. Brings us to agenda item 7A. CTE Extracurricular Robotics Programs Expansion. Mr. Casillas and Mr. Roger Gonzalez presenting.
Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Rios, members of the board. This evening I am showcasing one of our fantastic programs through CTE. This is the robotics program. It continues to grow and grow, so we are expanding in different areas. So popularity and high demand for the robotics program makes it necessary for CTE to expand the robotics program to ensure the program's success and growth. First, for inspiration and recognition of science and technology, has supported the middle school and high school programs by providing tournament registration fees, robot kits, robot parts, and field elements. I would like to recognize two of our robotics sponsors that are here this evening. We have Mr. Brad Billadu, the high school robotics coach, and doing the presentation this evening and showcasing all our entire robotics program is Mr. John Reed, sponsor from Del Rio Middle School. Mr. Reed.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity. Tonight I was asked to talk a little bit about the expansion of the robotics program here at San Felipe Del Rio.
I'm glad I don't have to follow that, sir.
I know. I was so glad. I was like, just at a glance, real quick, a lot of people in our community and don't know that we have robotics throughout the whole school district. We actually start a robotics program in 4th and 5th grade, the E-Cadet. This is actually the second year we've actually had E-Cadet. We actually have a First Lego League, which is at the 6th grade. We have First Tech Challenge, which is at the 7th and 8th grade. And then we have FRC, of course, at the high school. So starting at 4th grade all the way through 12th grade, we do have robotics now, which a lot of our districts in our area, schools, don't even have robotics. So just real quick, E-Cadet started last year. It was our inaugural year. It was a CTE pilot project. Mr. Gonzalez came in when it was already started, and he basically said, okay, make it happen. And he's been very supportive with this. Last year we had 22 teams, all 7 elementary campuses participating, had 84 plus students, 58% girls. We're reaching those non-traditional areas, populations, and 80% minority. This year we actually jumped up to 31 teams, over 124 students, and we had an increase in both the minority and the girl population. So that's occurring at the 4th and 5th grade level. We just this weekend had our E-Cadet scrimmage. On December 7th, we're actually having the championship. At 6th grade, we have the First Lego League. This is where the kids actually get to travel out of town. There's one team currently at the 6th grade. There's 10 kids on the team. There's actually 12. There's 2 alternates. First delegates, you can only have 10 students per team at the FLL level. And they actually will go to San Antonio next month and compete in a qualifier for the Alamo Championship. At the 7th and 8th grade, we had a huge growth this year. Last year we had 12 students, and this year I have 32 students. And because of that, I had to create 3 teams instead of 1 team. And there are more girls, more minority girls than there are boys. And it's just awesome to see that. We're the only FTC team in 150 miles. Any direction on the map, we're the only FTC team. There's not one in Eagle Pass, there's not one in Brackett, there's not one in Uvalde, there's not one in San Angelo. The closest is Laredo and San Antonio. We're going to be competing in December. We're actually traveling to Corpus Christi. I'm taking all 3 teams to Corpus for a contest at A&M. And we're one of the only middle schools in the state of Texas. This is normally geared for schools that can't afford the high school FRC, the large, $15,000, $20,000 robots. This is geared down for those schools that can't afford that. And we actually had to apply last year for a waiver to compete in that bracket. So when my kids go and compete, they're the only middle school competing. They're up against high school teams. So that's the FTC program. And then, of course, our World Championship bound FRC team. This is the 3rd year. As you can tell, they went from a team size of 20 the first year to 32 to this year to 73 students wanting to participate in robotics. The number of girls and minorities, once again, have just jumped because there's this buzz about robotics now here in Del Rio, which is what we want. It's what we're wanting. We want to see more and more kids participate in robotics. And because we're so far out, there's not a lot of robotics teams out this way. There's a lot of opportunities for us that come up with very short windows of opportunity to participate in, whether it's sponsorship or donations. We'll get an email, you've got 10 days to act on this. And we're more than glad to take it, and move on it. And of course, I'm leaving out all the E-Cadet coaches, whether it's Miss Wynn, Calderon, or Miss Fortunato, or any of the other E-Cadet teachers. There's Miss Lily Jimenez at 6th grade, myself at the 7th and 8th grade, and then Mr. Davis and Mr. Billadu at the high school. So, but that's it in a nutshell. Robotics is exploding here in Del Rio. I know Bracketville just recently reached out and wanted to know about our robotics program. They reached out to me. Eagle Pass, they're on the fence. They're thinking about jumping in, and so is Uvalde. But every time anybody mentions robotics in West Texas, it's always Del Rio. Look at Del Rio. Look at how they do it. You know, if you have questions, go to them. So, questions?
Questions for Mr. Reed? Ms. Lozano?
I'm not sure if for Mr. Reed or for Mr. Gonzalez, or maybe even Mr. Billadu. You mentioned, Mr. Reed, that the first Lego is limited to 10 students.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any limits to the first tech challenge?
Yes, there are 10 students. That's why I actually had to create 3 teams. I
Okay.
did
So
not
you can
want to
create as
turn.
many teams as you want?
You can create as many teams as you want, however, you have to register those teams. There's a registration national fee, then there's a registration fee for the contest, then there's travel. I know right now I'm becoming very creative with my economic outlook, because I budgeted for 10 kids last year to travel to Corpus and to San Antonio for the qualifiers, and now I have 30 kids, so we've become very creative of how to make that happen. Ms. Gomez has been very supportive, Mr. Gonzalez, but we've also looked at other things that
What have you been doing to?
usually every year, I have a fundraiser in April after we've done our contest to generate funds, and that usually helps replenish for the next year. This year, we received sponsorships from Texas Workforce Commission, First in Texas. I know First headquarters actually offered rookie teams free registration this year. So if the 6th grade wanted to add more teams, they could, but it's going to encumber more costs for the campus. That's basic.
And are there any limits to the high school program?
No, the high school can actually have as many people on one team. I think of the Lambots from Mexico. They actually bring to the Alamo Regional over 100 students to compete, and it's awesome because they get up in the stands. It's like a soccer match. But I will tell you, when there are meetings with 73 students in Mr. Billadu and Mr. Davis's facility, it's packed. It's wall-to-wall kids and mentors and instructors. So-
And how is that being funded?
The robotics team at the high school, last year they had a lot of support for the CT budget. And then when they moved on to nationals, Yanakani's department, World, they provided the rest of the money. You know, what I had shared with some board members is that later on today, for example, you're gonna approve, hopefully, the purchase of some welding equipment that was bought with local funds. And what I try to just let everybody know, whether it's CT funds or local funds, it's all district funds. So what money they don't raise through donations, and because they do have a lot of community support, and they do work hard to raise their money, whatever they don't raise, then the district provides it, whether it's through CT funds or local funds. I visited with briefly with Mr. Bilodeau and Mr. Garza, and we made a commitment to study it for this coming year and see what else we would do, because the registration fee for, see, most kids in CT departments, competitions, they raise the registration fee. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, I'm saying that when you compare the registration fee for example, cabinet making, and compare it to the registration fee of robotics, the robotics registration fee is a lot higher.
$5,000.
So, I shared with Mr. Gonzalez that if he would find me the average registration fee for all of the other departments, we would see how much robotics was different, and then I committed to providing the difference. It's, I guess fair is the appropriate word. So we had those discussions. I haven't seen any figures, but I did make that commitment once they provide those figures to me.
Now, is that just for one competition?
That's just for one competition. During the 6-week tournament for FRC, they can travel anywhere in the world, whether it be here in Texas or Hawaii or Brazil, Mexico. It's still $5,000 for the first event, $4,000 for each additional event, plus what you have to pay for travel.
And that we would support that as well, or?
Yes, we would support the difference in registration fees for all three competitions. I believe they've registered or
For
plan
three.
of 3 competitions is
Yes.
what I was told.
Okay.
And that's a commitment that I made.
Thank you very much, because I think it's very important to support this initiative. Obviously, it's grown, and I happened to be there on, was it Thursday? And just to see the number of students there was very impressive. I mean, engaged late into the evening, very impressive. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez and team.
Any other questions?
Well, you said you appropriated for 10 students?
Yes, sir.
What was the budget for 10 students?
I was looking at close to about $6,000 between the 2 events for travel, hotel. Now that's jumped up to close to 12 for taking that many for the 2 events, and that's not including if we qualify for the state championship, which last year we did. And I can't turn kids away. I'm sorry. If a kid comes to me and he wants to do robotics, one way or another, they're going to go and compete.
You guys are doing a great job. I got interested in it about 3 years ago when we went up here to visit Mr. Bilodeau, and I was pushing for it too. So we'll continue to do it, and I'm hoping to maybe help out again through our social clubs and see what we can do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And of course, within our budgets here too. And Dr. Rios is doing a good job at it.
Yes, he is. He's attended both E-cadets and walked around and engaged with the kids. It's been awesome to see that, so.
And thank you guys for your commitment. I know you stay out there late. You know, you put a heck of a lot of hours, and we thank you. The community, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, comments for Mr. Reed or team? Good work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Reed, Mr. Davis, Mr. Bilodeau. Brings us to agenda item 7B, discipline report by school for 6 weeks. Dr. Rios, you have a comment?
Yes, Mr. Garabedian, I provided the discipline report on last week's, or the previous week's update, because on the previous board meeting, we didn't have it ready to go. We have those reports now. They were provided on the update, but we can go through them again, both for elementary and secondary, whatever the wishes of the board are, sir.
It's up to the board. Anyone strong opinions? Questions?
I've seen it.
Mr. Chavita?
No, I don't have any.
No questions? Okay. Any questions? We're good? Move on. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to agenda item 8, consent agenda. Does any board member wish to pull any items from the consent agenda for discussion? Ms. Lozano, do you have a question, or was there something you wanted?
Well, I just had a question about one of them, so I don't know if we need to pull it, because I think it's an easy one.
Go ahead and ask your question. We'll see.
It was from Ms. Johnson, and it's regarding the Letterman jackets. Just, would you be able to explain, I didn't realize, maybe I just don't understand what that bid was for.
I think Dr. Rios.
Yes, ma'am. The Letterman jackets, when we placed athletics under Mr. Salinas, we had various discussions about different aspects of the athletic program. And one of them was obviously reviewing the expenses. And the discussion we had was that the Letterman jackets, in other districts, students buy their Letterman jackets. Here in this district, we buy the Letterman jackets. So the district provides a certain dollar amount for each student who gets a Letterman jacket. So because it's district money that is being used to procure the jackets, there needed to be a bid process to go through it. So Mr. Salinas, working with Paul Johnson and Yana County's department, did the bid process. And the recommendation that we're bringing forward today, is as a result of that bid process. There wasn't a bid because of any discontent with the salesperson. It was just about doing it right, because we do spend a lot of money on Letterman jackets, and it is district funds. So it does have to have an appropriate bid process.
But it's only one per kid for the career, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see the pricing in there. Was it in there? I just missed it?
No, the pricing, the district is only allowed to spend $70 per Letterman jacket and one letter. And the bids came back in, and the bid price was $49.99 for the jacket and one letter. And then the way the bids came in, we decided, the committee that voted on this, the big thing was what the parents were having to expend out of their own pocket for these jackets. Because some of the parents spend as much as $400 to $600 on the jackets, but that's because of all the additional letters and, you know, everything that they put on them. So the big cost was, which company could we go with that would be less costly to the parent? And all the different letters and emblems that can be put on a jacket, those all vary in cost. They're innumerable, and the cost just, they're all over the place. But what really came down to making it cost less was the company that we awarded to bid that they would only charge $10 to sew on 1 or 100 letters. It didn't matter. The other company was going to charge $5 for each additional letter that was attached. So in the long run, the committee felt that the Mecca sportswear that we recommended would be less costly to the parent.
Was it a new company, Ms. Johnson?
No, I think it's the company
Same
that
one?
we've used in the past, but we did bid out and we got 4 responses. We had samples and the committee looked, and so we had a really great response, and thanks to Dr. Rios requesting that we bid this out, we've really saved the district a lot of money as well as we hope the parents.
Great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Mesa? Okay, do you want it pulled, or can we,
Well, I just had a question, item F.
would you like to pull it and then act on the rest, or you just have a question? Mr. Mesa has a question for something on item F.
It was, number 1. I just had a question for Mr. Salinas. Mr. Salinas, the questions that it's a series of questions. First of all, I guess we did not purchase any buses the previous year?
Yes, sir, we did.
We did?
We purchased 2 small buses last year.
Okay, because normally I've seen the contracts come through and it's always 3.
Yes,
So 2 were purchased last year.
that's correct, because of
Okay.
limited funds.
And then, Are any of these buses equipped? I know some years back, we were supposed to receive some incentives from the state regarding transferring, from gasoline to perhaps gas, either butane or.
That's correct. That's a whole other process, and the reviews that we've done in the past and even currently, for us to change our pumping station to gas is very, very, very expensive.
So these are not,
No, so they're not gas.
they're not equipped.
That's correct.
And these are
That's-
diesel?
Yes,
Diesel,
yes.
okay. 'Cause I know that,
Ms. Thompson, excuse me, are they diesel? Yes,
okay,
yeah, because that's what we've been looking at.
okay. I guess, we are in need of some additional buses, is my understanding, because, the fleet that we have is quite old, and, through the work that has been done to retain our mechanics and, work on these buses has paid off in a sense, but, I know that, they break down quite a bit, and
Yes, sir.
we are in need of some new buses.
During the budget process, I did share that with Dr. Rios, and he was nice enough to provide me with funding to try to start that 3-year or the ongoing cycle of ordering 3 buses per year. So I hope
Okay.
this coming year again that we're able to fund that and continue with that cycle. We had gotten away from that for at least 3+ years.
All right, those are the questions, the only questions I had. I just wanted to make sure.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we've dispensed with the questions, and nothing to pull, so is there a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda? Ms. Lozano has motion, Mr. Chavita has second. All in favor by a show of hands? Unanimous, motion carries. Okay, that brings us to item 9. Before we do item 9, as is the custom, we'll have Mr. Overfelt read the donation list, to recognize those individuals and businesses that have donated this year, this month. Mr. Overfelt?
Yes, sir. Monetary donations this month. Approved Money Center, $250 to North Heights Elementary. Target Corporation, $120 to Buena Vista Elementary. Spot, $326 to Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary. Bendex CVS of Mexico, $200 to Del Rio High School and Mariachi. The Spot, in the amount of $346 to North Heights Elementary Student Council. Rams Basketball Boosters, in the amount of $1,485.16 to Del Rio High School Boys Basketball, as well as Del Rio High School hosts of Future Health. Professionals, I think actually that belongs to the City of Del Rio Fire Department, $180. The Del Rio High School hosts Future Health Professionals. Valverde Volleyball Club, in the amount of $500 to Del Rio High School Volleyball. Spot to $124 to Ruben Chavita Elementary. Exposure Marketing and Promotions Incorporated, $6,000 to Del Rio High School Athletics, and that was the Ford Drive promotion. Non-monetary donations. Three Rivers Bass Club is giving 2 bicycles valued at $100 to Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary honor roll students. Three Rivers Bass Club giving 2 bicycles valued at $100 to North Heights Elementary honor roll students. The Home Depot is giving PVC piping valued at $51.10 to Garfield Elementary. TJ Moore, PVC piping valued at $105.53 to Garfield Elementary. Walmart, luncheon and gift cards valued at $1,293 to Lamar Elementary. And then Gaddy's Pizza is giving $5 game cards valued at $17,655 to all of the elementary campuses, pre-K through grade 5. Sir.
Thank you. And thank you to all those who made donations for the district and district students. Agenda item 9, citizens to be heard. No? Okay. That brings us to 10, administration. First one being A, consideration to cast votes on the 2014-2015 Val Verde Appraisal District Board of Directors official ballot. And that's in your board packet. It's the memo from Mrs. Sheedy. Take a minute and look at that. So, Dr. Rios, Mr. Mesa has a question.
Yes, sir.
Couple of misspellings.
Yes, sir.
We caught them.
Let's wait back.
Find it, Ms. Lozano, it's right after him. Keep going. You're still on.
Keep going. Okay,
There you go. Starts with the memo from the appraisal district informing us via Dr. Rios that it's time to vote for the nominees for the board of directors. And enclosed after that is the official ballot where the district, San Felipe Del Rio CISD, has 4,293 votes. And that they may be cast in any way we wish. They give two examples of how we can cast those votes. Could be split evenly, 1,073.25 votes for Mr. Alfredo Carranza Jr., Mr. Joey Garcia, Mr. Raymond Mesa, Mr. Ramiro Guzman, or the other possible option is 1,000 votes for Alfredo Carranza Jr., Joey should be Garcia, it's typed Garcia, Raymond Mesa, Ramiro Guzman, and then 293 Lois Everett. As the memo states, however, we use our votes. Remember, use the official ballot to cast your votes and return to her office. Anything to add, Dr. Rios?
No, unless you'd like to review how the board has voted in the past.
Well, in the past, according to the minutes, and this is on page 145 of the just previous board minutes. Actually, this one, the minutes are from November 16, 2009. It came as a action item, and what's listed in the minutes is the administration recommended that the Board of Trustees vote and approve the Val Verde Appraisal District Board of Directors. At that time, there was total votes, 1,000 votes being one seat on the Board of Directors, and it listed the individuals. So I think in the memo, it's pretty straightforward. It's either what's on the left or what's on the right, because either way uses all the votes that the district has, correct?
Yes. I guess, Mr. Garabedian, board members, just to be entirely clear, you have the option of dividing the votes equally,
Which is on the left.
which is on the left. You have the option of providing 1,000 votes to each one of the candidates that we recommended, but when it comes to the additional votes, the remaining 293 votes, my understanding is that y'all can allocate those to any entity you wish. We're not bound by the example here, and I just want to be clear. I don't, however, I do not have a recommendation on who to give those votes to. That's entirely the board's choice. If you want that delegated, well, then I can't make a recommendation. I'd rather not.
Just a reminder, when we did the first step in this, we nominated 4 individuals, right? And those individuals were the the people that are on the left-hand side of the memo, to where Mr. Alfredo Carranza Jr. would get 1,073 and a quarter vote. Mr. Joey Garcia would get 1,073 and a quarter vote. Mr. Raymond Mesa would get 1,073 and a quarter vote, and Mr. Ramiro Guzman, 1,073 and a quarter vote. That's exactly what we nominated when it brought us to this point. So, my recommendation is we approve it as listed on the memo to the left, equally among those four. Is there discussion, or? Mr. Chavita?
I think, like in the past, the reason for those 295 votes was so that Comstock could get a, well, that was the only reason. And I think we should continue to do that.
Okay, so you're advocating for the
Yes,
example on the right?
so to make sure that they get a representative.
Okay,
She represents
okay,
Comstock.
okay. All right, anybody, discussion, comments?
Follow me.
Okay.
I mean, it's Comstock, they get the vote already also, right? Or, so this is just an additional,
Well, they need to vote
Yeah, but they don't
to
have
be
that,
able to get one representative.
I mean, they don't have that many votes like we do, like get them a number of.
it's just a chance for them to get someone from the
In the
Comstock
past, that was
community on the-
brought to our attention, and this is what we've done.
We can check more recently. Can I see the other minute book? We'll get this exactly the way the board wants it.
And Mrs. Sheedy's here in case you
Is she?
have any
Good.
questions. Yeah, she's here.
The most recent minute book on page 140, or on page 46, obviously you can tell what I did today. Look through the minute books. Where is it? Thank you. Yes, it is. 2 years ago, let's see, the consideration to vote and approve the 12-13 Val Verde Appraisal District Board Directors. Mr. Carranza got 1,000, Mr. Mesa got 1,000 votes, Mr. Salinas got 1,000, the remaining 872 were given to Comstock ISD, so that was the entity. So that leads us to the other option. Is that the board's discretion? Do the other option? Okay.
Need a motion?
Why don't I make a clear recommendation, and then we'll do a motion in a second. So, we're recommending, well, yeah, we'll fill that out. That's how we're gonna vote. We're recommending approval. 1,000 votes for Alfredo Carranza Jr., 1,000 votes for Joey Garcia, 1,000 votes for Mr. Raymond Mesa, 1,000 votes for Ramiro Guzman, and 293 votes for Ms. Lois Everett. That's the recommendation. So we've heard the recommendation as per the board's discretion. Is there a motion to accept? Mr. Chavita has motion, Mr. Mesa has second. All in favor by a show of hands? Unanimous, motion carries, and you fill out your ballots, turn them in.
Is this really the official ballot?
That's what it says.
Last time it was kind of.
Ms. Sheedy, do you want to ask her? She's here in the back, looking like she wants to answer a question. Ms. Sheedy, do you want to answer a question, please?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your
No, my
question.
question was, is this really the official ballot with?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I have. That's what I thought.
You don't have to each fill that out, but the official ballot needs to be filled out how the votes was cast and sent
Oh.
back to me.
That's what I
We were all going to fill it out and turn it in.
thought. I know, but I couldn't believe this is
Okay.
official.
Well, we checked and double checked. We recommended, we voted, we're good. Mr. Carranza, Ms. Joey Garcia, Mr. Mesa, Mr. Guzman, Lois Everett. The vote split accordingly. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Wait, please. Thanks. Okay, the other item we will dispense with quickly, because it's more kind of FYI, make sure everybody's on the same page. Agenda item 10B, consideration to set date for the formative evaluation of the superintendent. Dr. Garza, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the district's website? Just a clarification. to, on the left-hand side, About Us, where it says Superintendent's Evaluation. Notice this is where administration put the information for us. If you pull up the calendar, just a reminder, it's there. If you'd scroll down, we've worked through November. I know, for example, that Dr. Rios is looking into any training that he may need to complete for the commissioner's worksheet. We've done the other things. So on this calendar, the idea was we would do the formative evaluation in December. It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty simple, does not involve the instrument. It helps direct and guide the superintendent's performance for the remaining 6 months of that 12-month cycle. So the only thing I wanted to suggest and then recommend is that we do it at the regular meeting. That's customarily how best practice dictates that it should be done. There's really no reason to do a special meeting. That's really for the summative evaluation. But I just wanted to give everyone a heads up, because I know it's the holidays and you have things going on. So unless there's discussion, my recommendation is we stay right on track and we conduct that formative evaluation at the December regular meeting. Any questions? Comments? Can you tell us the date, Mr. Overfield? Okay, it would be, the regular would be December 16th. Regular board meeting, Monday, closed agenda session, or closed session item. So you can mark it on your calendar, because obviously everything's important that the board does, but that's like of supreme importance, so. Entertain the possibility of a special, but I don't really think that's not necessary, it's not customary practice. But if you commit, so that's my recommendation. I so move that we do it at the December regular meeting.
Just a question.
Sure, go ahead.
As long as we don't have a long agenda for December, because normally
The December regular's pretty short, so.
we won't add too many items, just so we can get out here at daylight.
Yes, sir.
And as a formative, it's a discussion. You know, it's not.
Whatever can wait for the next month.
But that would put us right at the 6-month point. I perused the history of that
Is it
topic.
okay with Dr. Rios?
Does it work for
As
you,
long as it's gonna be on the
December
stand.
regular?
That would be the best thing to do, sir.
Okay.
Keep right with the calendar.
Stay with the calendar. All right, so that's a recommendation. I so move that we agree to do that at the December regular board meeting. Mrs. Lozano has seconded. All in favor, by a show of hands? Unanimous, motion carries. Look forward to it a month from now. Okay, that brings us to agenda item 11, curriculum instruction. There are no items. 12, facilities and operations, no items for this meeting. That brings us to 13, business and finance. A, consideration to approve a resolution imposing a 15% collection penalty on delinquent taxes. Ms. Valdez and Sonia Gonzalez is here for this report, for this discussion.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Back on April 18th, 2005, by resolution, this board imposed a 20% collection penalty on delinquent taxes relating to year 2004 and all subsequent years, meaning all prior years remained at 15%. What this particular resolution before you today basically calls for is imposing a 15% collection penalty for all taxes. That includes the 04 and subsequent years and all prior years. Again, this is something that the county has already adopted. As many of you all may be aware, once they contracted with us a couple of months ago, we agreed to a 15% flat fee for all tax years. And we're just bringing this to the board since back in 05, the 20% for 2004 and subsequent year fee was passed. So we just want to make sure we have it on record that it has changed to 15% to apply to all tax years.
Questions? memo for this one is on page 129.
129.
So I
Mr. Mesa has a
I have a
question.
question, I guess. So, yeah, the county has already passed it, you said, so it's basically lowering from 20 to 15.
20 to 15 for all tax years, not only for those 2004 and subsequent years. Yes, sir.
So we're lowering.
Yes. But since the school district had adopted the resolution and took formal action, we wanted to make sure it was on the school's record as well that you took the same action to go back to the 15% for all years.
I guess my other question would be, all entities, so that would include the city as well, is gonna have to do.
For all tax years, the city took action a couple of years back when they adopted a separate resolution when our contract renewal had come up. Because the county collects on behalf of the school district, when those contract negotiations came up, this is a matter that obviously was negotiated and approved at that time.
So it affects
Yes.
only the county and the school.
But just to be clear, at this point today, all entities, including the city, are at 15%. This 15% fee took effect for the school entity as well as the county, September 4th of this year.
Lozano?
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Just help me understand it a little bit
Okay.
better. For any penalties that have already been imposed,
Yes.
how does that work?
Basically, the delinquent,
Reimburse them?
no, the delinquent amount, penalty and interest as of the 15th, or I'm sorry, as of September 5th, the tape that was being sent to us, so the data we were already receiving from the tax office already include that 15% penalty amount, so there would be no need for reimbursements. So the figures as of September reflect the 15% fee. So there would be no need at this point for any type of reimbursements.
But for all those years, April
Yes.
2005 till now, when it was 20%,
Yes. At that point,
it's a done deal?
it's a done deal.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's effective as of September 5th, as of that date.
Perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
That clarified it for me.
Other questions? Ms. Valdez, the recommendation.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees authorize for the board president and board secretary to sign the resolution imposing a 15% collection penalty on delinquent taxes.
For the recommendation, I so move to accept. Is there a second? Mr. Chavita has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item 13B, consideration to approve membership with the Harris County Department of Education. Paula Johnson, presenting.
Good evening, Dr. Rios, Mr. Garabedian, and board members. Pursuant to the Interlocal Contract Code 791, our Texas Government Code Subchapter 271, and our Education Code 44.031. In order for the district to become a member of any of the interlocals, we require board approval. So we are asking tonight if you would approve for us to join the Harris County Department of Education, the HCDE, prior to our entering into our electric contract, which begins January 1 of 2014. Are there any questions?
Questions for, on this one?
If there are no questions, it's the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees authorize the superintendent to sign the membership with Harris County Department of Education.
For the recommendation, I so move to accept. Is there a second? Mr. Chavita is second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item 13C, consideration to approve election administration services for the May 2014 election. Ms. Valdez presenting.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Rios, board members. At your seating location, we placed an updated memo and a contract. Our previous elections administrator, Ms. Carmen Velez, has opted not to continue to conduct our elections as an elections administrator. So in an effort to prepare for the 2014 elections, I began asking for anybody who was interested to administer our elections. And we did find someone who was interested, Ms. Sylvia Cardona. And at that time, I also called the Val Verde County Clerk to ask questions on their pay rates. And she also shared with me that we can also contract with her to be an elections administrator. I then met with her to obtain more information, and some of the information was shared via board communique 2 Fridays ago, but this is the most recent information. Ms. Ramon from the Val Verde County Clerk's Office is already the elections administrator for Comstock and for the hospital. We did a comparison of the fees, and for our 2012 election, 50% of our expenses were for the elections administrator and the assistant. This would reduce that expense to be around $3,000, which is what we were estimating based on other elections that she's administered, where it would be 10% of the total election cost for that year. The contract is included, which oversees all of the elections administration processes, everything from managing the polling locations, ordering and distributing election supplies, hiring the judges for the polling locations and the clerks, training them. She would also, or with this contract, that would also include all of the legal compliance for all of the election process. And one of the most critical parts of the election process is the handicapped accessibility, which every year the rules get more and more stricter. This contract does have a 30-day clause, and the May 2014 election will be for May 10, 2014. The detailed calendar will be provided at the training the first week of December, which is in Austin, which will break it down from, the first date of approving the election order and the notice all the way down to the election date. And we have 4 positions that will be up for elections. Any questions?
Questions? Discussion?
Cost savings.
And I'd also like to share that the voting locations would remain the same. Early voting would be here in the boardroom, and then voting day would remain with the 3 polling locations that we have had, which is the Civic Center, San Felipe Memorial Middle School, and Del Rio City Hall. There also will be new machines that will be used, which will, of course, increase the accuracy of the counts and expedite the counting process.
To me, it looks,
I have one
yes, sir.
question.
Yes, sir.
Will this be just for this 1 year and it'll be renewed every year, or is it?
Yes, sir, we would bring it back.
It was explained as to why and all that type of thing, so I just wondered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other comments? To me, it seems more efficient, cost benefit. Ms. Ramon's an experienced election person. And the person who's normally done it isn't available, so there we are. No discussion? Okay, the recommendation?
Okay. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the Val Verde County Clerk for election administration services and for the board president to sign the contract.
Further recommendation, I so move to accept. Is there a second? Mr. Overfelt is second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brings us to agenda item 14, A, under Human Resources and Student Services, A being consideration to approve the revised job description and evaluation forms for Management Information Systems Director. And Dr. Rios is going to walk us through this, or is Dr. Michael? She's not here, right?
I'll take care of this today, sir. Mr. Garabedian, members of the board, at the beginning of the budget cycle, we proposed different job descriptions in accordance with the organizational chart that I presented. Since then, we've made studies to see what job descriptions need to be updated. Nothing that we're presenting today is a change to what we're already doing, not in this agenda item. This specifically deals with our MIS officer who is no longer doing the testing duties and instead is doing the public information officer duties along with the MIS duties. And we're just trying to get the job description to match the current duties that are being taken care of. Both the chief technology officer and the individual whose job descriptions have reviewed it and are in agreement, and we are just bringing it forward to be official. If there are any specific questions, I'll read the recommendation.
Questions for Dr. Rios before he reads the recommendation for 14A? Okay, the recommendation.
Mr. Garabedian, it's the recommendation of the administration that the revised job description evaluation forms for the Management Information Systems Director position be approved as presented.
Heard the recommendation, I so move to accept. Is there a second? Mr. Chavita has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries. Brings us to 14B, consideration to convert the district migrant parental aid and computer lab manager positions to Title I parental aid. The revised job classification listing to include the Title I parental aid and the job description evaluation forms for Title I parental aid. Dr. Rios?
Mr. Garabedian, members of the board, what we're doing is we're consolidating some positions. We have the mobile vans that would go out to different areas. We're going to keep one of them. We're bringing one person into central office to provide trainings for parents and make it more accessible. The federal department has studied this and believe this is the best use of our funds. So this would be a position that we would be advertising for. But it's just trying to consolidate the duties into one person, going from pay grade 1 to a pay grade 3, but it would be something that we would advertise and hire, paraprofessional.
So the job responsibilities and duties have pretty much been combined?
Yes, by making that person work out of the federal programs building, rather than have them going to different places, the parents would come here. Having the mobile lab, don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, but it does create a problem when we go out to a community and we have to screen the parents that we can serve, because they have to be parents of students who are identified as Title I students. And that's difficult to do, because you show up and they want to use the services, but there's a screening process. And it makes it hard. Now, we want to keep one mobile van and continue to use it, but we want to combine those positions with the migrant person and bring that here to the annex building where they will provide similar services at a district-wide level.
I have a question.
Mr. Mesa?
So, in the past, I believe we had 2 or 3 mobile computer vans. We will still keep one
Yes.
that will go to
Different areas.
all the different areas that are wired up, and because my concern would be the accessibility of some of these parents not having transportation, perhaps to come to the.
Yes, Mr. Mesa. We are going to keep one van. However, we agreed in the summer that we would screen the parents before the van goes out and make it, invite only those parents who qualify so that we're also in compliance.
It was a very good program, and I think as long as we continue with one, we will be able to provide the training necessary for some of the parents. So, I'm glad.
Other comments? There are no other comments on the recommendation.
Mr. Caribbean board members, it's the recommendation of the administration the Title I Parental Aid District position, the revised job classification for paraprofessional, and the job description and evaluations be approved as presented.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Mr. Lozano has motion. Mr. Chavita has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous. Motion carries. Brings us to agenda item 16, closed session. It's now 7:14 p.m., November 18th, 2013. And the Board of Trustees will recess this open session and convene a closed meeting in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D and E. Specifically, we're able to do that under 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.076, 551.082, 551.084. And specifically tonight, item A, pursuant to 551.071, private consultation with the board's attorney, one being report from legal counsel regarding pending personnel investigation and possible policy implications, and B, pursuant to 551.074, discussion of personnel or to hear complaints against personnel. First being discussion of personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations, and two, discussion of salary adjustments to include the following justifications: service credit, pay grade change, master's degree. All final votes, actions, or decisions will be taken in open session. We're now in closed session. Okay, it's 9:46 p.m., November 18th, 2013. And the Board of Trustees will now reconvene in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D and E. No action was taken in closed session. Now that we're reconvened into open session, brings us to 17A, pursuant to 551.071, private consultation with the board's attorney, consideration to modify / amend FFH local policy. Dr. Rios, any comments or from the board?
Mr. Garabedian, board members, the administration would request additional time to review other policies that would also impact FFH local, that are also cited in FFH local. I'll provide reports to the board as we make progress.
Any questions? Everybody understand? Policy review, we'll go. Okay. That brings us to 17B, consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations. Ms. Garcia, I believe, will do this tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
In lieu of Dr. McNamara.
Good evening, Mr. Garabedian, Dr. Rios, members of the board. It is the recommendation of the administration that the personnel report be as approved, as presented. We have Frida Tillman, 5th grade teacher at Dr. Fermin Elementary. We have Julia Olson, art teacher at San Felipe Middle School. We'd also like to recommend Joseph Williams, social studies teacher at Del Rio Middle School. Alonso Flores, social studies teacher at Del Rio Middle School. Oribe Guyen, English language art teacher at Del Rio High School, practical writing. Also, Dora Salinas, counselor at Garfield Elementary. And the addendum would include Nelda Juarez, 3rd grade teacher at North Heights Elementary. Gretchen Ponder, 5th grade teacher at North Heights Elementary. Andrea Gonzalez, PE teacher at North Heights Elementary. Miranda Williams, 2nd grade teacher at Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. Jeffrey Tomlin, math teacher at Del Rio Middle School. Mario Sauceda, database manager, Skyward specialist at Annex 3. those are the employees that we would like to recommend.
We've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Mr. Chavita has motion, Mr. Mesa has second. All in favor by a show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries. Thank you. Brings us to 17C, consideration of approved salary adjustments to include the following justification: service credit, pay grade change, master's degree. Dr. Rios is presenting, or Ms. Garcia will present for Dr. Rios.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the salary adjustments be approved as presented in the closed executive session.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Ms. Lozano has motion, Mr. Chavita has second. All in favor by show of hands? It's unanimous, motion carries. Brings us to agenda item 18, superintendent's report. A being discussion of school board workshop for curriculum and instruction. Dr. Rios.
Mr. Garabedian, members of the board, now that we've had we've had 2 complete 6 weeks to implement the instructional initiatives, and we're well on our way. I would like some time to update school board members and the community on everything that our instructional initiatives consist of. And even though there's no action taken tonight, I am going to poll the board to see if the first Saturday in December or the second Saturday in December works, and then I will inform the board both personally and via an update as to when a workshop would be set. Are there any questions related?
It's deer season, sir.
It's deer season.
Well, Mr. Mesa, I hope that you get your limit between now and the first week in December, sir.
You better hurry up.
Well,
I would go with the second week because I'm already committed to all that since Thursday to the rest of the week.
when does deer season end, sir?
Well, January. First and second week are like the best 2 weeks, so I'm gone.
Okay, well, I'll
But
How about making it during the week? No?
we'll see. We'll see if I get the big one. Okay.
hope for the big one between now and then, sir.
All right.
You can take me and I'll get you big one.
I'll be there whenever and wherever.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Except the first week, any other week would be fine with me.
Yes, sir.
okay, next item is 18B, update on the SCAN, Serving Children and Adults in Need, Incorporated Prevention Program.
Just want to provide an update to the board. There is a nonprofit serving children and adults in need. This was brought to us by members of SCAN. They applied for and received a grant where they are to provide counseling services to students, prevention methods. I have visited with them along with some of our staff, and they will be providing counseling services to both students and parents, those students that get placed at the alternative school, and then they will also provide counseling services, group-type counseling sessions to students in 5th and 6th grade. I will be signing an MOU. There is no exchange of funds, so there is no need for board approval as I understand it. However, because we will have a different agency serving our students, I thought it was important that I just present that to y'all and give you the opportunity to ask any questions if there are any. I have worked with this organization in other districts and believe that their services are good services. We've done the criminal investigation for volunteers and anybody else that works with our students. Everything seems to be in order, so we will be moving forward. Are there any questions, sir?
Questions? Okay. Brings us to agenda item 19. Being no further business before this board, is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Overfeld has motion. Is there a second? Ms. Haynes has second. All in favor by a show of hands? Unanimous motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.